Hey, welcome to Scot Ferrell Show. Thanks so much for tuning in. Big show today. I had to change topics today. That's cool. Next week's show is going to be this week's show. So, great topic, though. You need to have pen, paper, pencil, probably, if you think you should take notes, what I think most people should. Today's topic is, are your kids a copy of you? That can be a sobering thought sometimes. We'll get right back to it. But today's sponsor of the show is Dirt Poor, baby. I don't do anything without my coffee. I like coffee. Coffee's one of my favorite things. I don't get to do drugs or drink anymore. I'm a pastor, but I like my coffee. My coffee is the last thing I have. The great thing is Dirt Poor is some of the best coffee I've ever had. I'm not doing that because they're paying me. It's because it's really good, and they have the best muffins, sausage balls, and cheese sticks I've ever had outside of my grandma. So how could I lose? I come into Summerville, Georgia, I get my coffee, get my cheese sticks, get my sausage rolls and sausage balls and my muffins. It's a great day. And the whole staff's wonderful, and Heather and her staff are great. So stop in anytime you're in Summerville or passing through. Great place to stop, socialize, get to know some folks. Everybody there's really sweet. That's the great thing about the town we're in. Everybody's nice. I thought it was going to be Children of the Corn, where they're so nice to us one day, and then they show up at our house and kill us with pitchforks. But it hasn't happened yet. It reminds me of my hometown a lot. I live in a place where it's got 4 buildings and a flashing light. I don't live in Summerville, where the coffee shop is. So it's interesting to come back to like what I grew up like, and where everybody's really sweet and nice, and they just want to help you. I mean, here in this town, they'll drive you around if you need help. I've never seen anything like it, and I met all those people are dirt poor. So the coffee's great. So if you're driving through, stop and get a cup of Joe. All right, today's show, are your kids a copy of you? You may be horrified right now. You may be running and screaming, going, oh, please, hopefully not. Please don't let them be like me. I always joke and go, none of us ever went to the hospital to see our kids be born. And then went, Lord, please make them a drug addict, an alcoholic, a loser, somebody who ditches school, somebody who goes out and blows stuff up, ends up in prison, shoots people. Nobody ever prayed that prayer. So how do we have so many people incarcerated, out drinking, doing drugs, date rapes, sky high now, teenage pregnancy, out of wedlock pregnancies? Why is everything so escalated? Are our kids a carbon copy of us? You know, something my generation likes to do is complain about millennials, Y and Z, and the new generation. I mean, we just dropped these names, right? And I'm an X by a few months, but I always say baby boomer because my wife's a baby boomer. I married an older woman. Don't let her know that. She's real touchy about it, so don't tell her I said that. Yeah. Nobody's going to know I said that. But are millennials Z and Y what we said they were? Or do baby boomers and X get to take credit for making them the way they are? Let's think about this. I do behavior for a living. Ooh, pick me. Do kids come out of the womb ready to go, hardwired, ready to go? We don't have to teach them anything. They don't observe anything. Their senses don't mean anything. They're just ready to go, bam. Or do they learn through their environment, through their 5 senses? Do they pick up what they see around them, what they hear, what they taste, what they smell? Think about it. Do you eat what you eat because you chose it coming out of the womb, or was it what your mom and dad, grandma and grandpa, aunt and uncle fed you? Well, yeah, it was. Why do I like Krispy Kreme donuts to this day, even though I don't eat them? I don't eat donuts anymore. But if I think about a Krispy Kreme donut, my mouth just starts to water. Well, I think my dad took me straight from the hospital after I was born and fed me a Krispy Kreme donut. I say that facetiously, but my dad took me to Krispy Kreme as soon as I could chew. Well, then it became a staple because where I'm from in North Carolina, Krispy Kreme was the only thing we had, and we only had one. So you had to drive pretty good ways to go get it. But if we went on vacation, you could always find a Krispy Kreme. So did I receive that memory just from popping out of my mom, or did I receive that memory because my dad introduced me to Krispy Kreme donuts? Well, my dad introduced it to. Same reason why I like fried chicken, collard greens, biscuits, apples, spread over the biscuits, bacon, steak. Well, my dad. My dad was a cook in the Army for a while. I think everybody was. And then he became a phenomenal cook. So my dad taught me how to cook. He's the one that got me introduced to all this stuff. But my dad introduced me. So are our kids a copy of us? Yeah. That should frighten a lot of us. Because if you're wondering why your kids act and do the way what they say and what they do, all they're doing is giving back what they've learned or absorbed or received or been taught. Remember, I teach human programming, have for many, many, many years. 0 to 7, we're in theta. What's that mean? There's brainwave levels. Theta is hypnosis. A child, human, from 0 to 7 is in theta, so whatever they receive from their 5 senses, they absorb and keep and perform. So that means that you, husband, wife, grandma, grandpa, aunt, uncle, daycare worker, teacher, cousins, aunts, uncles, brothers, friends, situations, food, everything's absorbed. Therefore, it stays. Now at 7, we can start to distinguish yes, no, we get to choose. But normally even at 7, where are we still located? We're still at home. So the maturation schedules, if you want to know, you can look these up on the internet. I'm a Piagetian theorist. My mentor was, so you kind of go with your teacher. But maturation schedules are 0 to 2, 3 to 5, 5 to 8, 8 to 13, and 13 to 18. And then a lot of brain function guys teach 0 to 7, 7 to 13, 13 to 18. If you'll notice, they match up almost perfectly. Because even though we're 7 and can rule out things and don't have to automatically absorb, where are we still located? Normally at home, same people. Well, let's think about that. From 7 to 13, are we still at home? Yeah. 13 to 18, normally. Well, what goes on from 7 to 13? We go to elementary, junior high. We get our nicknames. We get all the things. We get taught to depreciate ourselves and lift up other people. The key is we're still at home. We're still with the same people, same family, same rituals, same habits, same food, same situation, same environment. Therefore, when a child does something, they are a product of their upbringing environment. You know, we go through this nature nurture. We go through. I noticed in college there was a knockdown drag out on that one. Wow, it was just fun to watch people go at each other. Environment does count. Okay, so environment's your key there. So every single thing that your child does, most of the time, not all the time, is a product of what they've observed you doing. People say, well, I just got my mom's temper. No, you observed your mom, the way she handled things in certain environments, and you decided to replicate that because it was normal. People always look at me like, It's like now we see all these teen takeovers and the way kids act. Where do you think they got it from? I used to be a high school teacher. People would say, well, he never acts like that at home. That's impossible. No, they've replicated these behaviors at home. You just excuse them. Remember, behavior ignored is behavior condoned. So think about you and your kids. From 0 to 7, what were they exposed to? Think about it. From 0 to 7, what were you exposed to? Your mom and dad, your great-grandma and grandpa, your aunts and uncles, your mom's and dad's friends. Think about it. What shaped you? What repetitious things do you do currently that you saw your mom and dad, grandma and grandpa, aunts and uncles repetitiously perform? I always ask parents, if they are displaying behaviors at home that will sabotage their kids' success. Did your parents display behaviors at home that helped sabotage your success? Let me look at my life. The only person I can pick on is me. Now, my mom and dad passed away a long time ago. Mom's been gone 36, almost 37 years, and my father's been gone 40. almost. So it's been a while. But I look back at my mom and dad, they struggled in life. My dad was a very hard worker. My mom was a debutante beauty queen. They got married. Didn't always get along. A lot of elevated conversations in my household on a daily basis. And then you fuel in alcohol and the way they treated women back in the 60s, Mother's Little Helpers, Jack Daniels. It was a disaster. And it was always chaos. Now, I repaired with my dad. You know, y'all have heard those stories. But just the daily basis, it was chaos. Not a lot of fun to grow up in. Hard to concentrate, hard to focus. Very explosive. So let's look and say, okay, well, how was I? What are those behaviors did I display? Well, as a teenager, I became a drug addict and alcoholic. I've had a very violent, explosive temper. I would just pop you for nothing. I was always angry, always frustrated, almost antisocial in a way. Yeah, well, was I mirroring behaviors that I had noticed? Yes. Do I still say the same things my dad said? Yes. We don't own the power company. We're not the Rockefellers. Can somebody please turn the lights off? Where's the money tree? Did somebody plant one in the backyard? Because y'all sure act like I've got a money tree. All these things I go, ooh, I'm my father. Oh my gosh. It's like the joke, if you ever want to calm your wife down, tell her she's acting like her mother. Because normally she is. How could she not? Remember, this is a phone, right? But somebody had to program the phone, and my phone can only do what it's programmed to do. If it's not programmed to do it, it will not perform that function. Your kids will only perform what they're programmed to do. That's why every time you see kids acting out, teen takeover, all these fights, all these kids getting jumped, all this violence, where are they getting it from? Certain segments of society, it's music, yes. Whatever you're introduced to, it's what you're going to perform. There's no other way around it because you're programmed to do it. Now, I get asked all the time, okay, looks like I'm a failure. Gee, Scott, why are you laying in on me like that? How am I going to change it? You just told me I'm just destroyed. Well, no. You can change the way you function. That's the great thing. Brain function can change. You can reshape dendrites. You can reshape the canals in your brain. You can reshape your soul, your mind, will, and emotions. You can change all these things if you want to. The problem is a lot of people don't want to. Again, being a high school teacher, I made it almost 25 years before I couldn't take it anymore. People would come into conferences and blame the teachers for everything. The misbehavior, the talking out, the fighting, the drug dealing, the drinking in class, the grabbing the booties in the hallway. It was always an external person's fault. So you mean to tell me that all of us teachers, all 6 of us, have been over to your house on a daily basis and we helped program your child to do all this stupid stuff? Is that what you're telling me? Or, shot in the dark here, was it you? I was listening to a speaker yesterday, I can't say his name, and boy, does he like profanity. But he was right. He said, if your kids need a safe space, either at school or at work, to deal with their feelings and so they don't have to listen to other people's viewpoints, you're a failure as a parent. Absolutely true. So your kids are some of a copy of you. So yeah, your kids are a copy of you. So if your kids are a mess, ding, 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 you are too. The problem is now where I got raised by World War II parents. My parents were born in 1930. My grandparents were born in 1900. I got raised by a different generation that believed in personal responsibility. Never discussed feelings, discussed outcomes. I asked you to do this, go do it. My dad never asked me how I felt about anything. I could see me going to my dad, Korea veteran, and my 2 godfathers who were Marines in World War II, and going, I need a safe space today. I just can't handle the external opinions of other people today. I just need a safe space. I think my dad would have taken a board and beat me to death with it, which probably would have had it coming. So, How do we fix this? All right, your kids are a mess. You're a mess. The whole world's a mess. As we can see, the whole world's on fire right now. How do we fix it? I'm glad you asked, because it doesn't do any good for me to rail on you and get on you if I don't tell you how to fix it. Can you reprogram yourself? Absolutely. Absolutely. So let's go over how you got programmed, right? All right, theta, 0 to 7. Everything you receive through the five senses you will obtain or retain will be habitual in nature later. That forms your subconscious. Your conscious is active, your subconscious is back in the background performing everything. 95% of everything you do every day is subconscious, 5% is conscious. You want to go ride a roller coaster? Yeah, man, I want to do that. I want to go get Category 5 rapids. Let's go do it. And your subconscious goes, hold up, fool. You crazy? You get yourself killed like that. So which one's going to win? Well, your subconscious, because it overrides everything. So what you have to do is take all the desires you want, override your subconscious, and reprogram yourself to go perform the things you do want to do. Basically, we are performing a movie script that we didn't write on a daily basis for our lives. So we're really performing out a script that someone else wrote for their lives, and we're performing it out for ours, even though it does not match. That's why there's so much disharmony in your life. You're not doing what you want to, all these things. That's what causes it. So 0 to 7, you're in theta. Now, 7 to 13, let's go with the age groups I gave you. Now, repetition. What do we do normally from 7 to 13? ABCs, times tables, proper grammar, diagramming sentences. Good grief, that brings back nightmares. All these things we repetitiously and habitually hold on to. Memorize for tests. You know, how do you memorize things? Memorize music. I was a performer. I had the music memorized in 8 different languages. How did I do it? Repetition. So you have theta, 0 to 7, that's hypnosis. Now you have repetition. Not 13, 18. Still repetition. How'd you learn all that? How do I know all these songs from the 60s and 70s? You just heard them over and over and over and over, and I remembered them all. So repetition. So now, how do you think this is going to get fixed? Good job. We can do theta and repetition. Here's how you do it. First of all, before you do it, you got to figure out, okay, what's wrong with me? Because when I write parenting books or I go speak to parents, guess how much I talk about kids? Yeah, very little. I very rarely have to talk about the kids, because who am I talking about? Because the kids are an extension of who? It's like when you have employees that work for you. Who are they representing every time they go out? Well, they're representing you in public. Your kids are representing you in public. So if they mess up, that reflects back on you. It's like when you're on a team. Why do guys get cut or fired or let go or suspended? They go out and do something stupid, and it reflects back on the team, so the team suspends them. Same thing with kids, same thing with you. Since we know that your kids are a copy of you, what you normally need to do is, now that we can go into repetition, is go, what's wrong with me? It takes a brave person to sit down and go, what's wrong with me? I was smart. I cheated on this one. I went to visit any girl that would still talk to me in the 80s and 90s and asked them all the things that were bad about me. Boy, were they very, very happy to give those. But I wrote them all down and assumed that all the things they said about me were true. They were the experts on me, right? They went out with me. And I changed them all. So everything they said I had to fix. So basically I just do the opposite of what they told me. That was easy. Was it done overnight? No, I had to repetitiously go through it. So what do I have to do? Here's the formula. You look at your grandparents, your aunts and uncles, everybody that surrounded you as a child. And you go, from the observable behaviors, how many of those do I have, or could I have? How many are positive? How many are negative? What are the negative? You don't really need to look at the positive. You don't want to change that. Not everything in your household was negative. I got a lot of positives from my parents and my grandparents, my aunts and uncles. But I only wanted to focus on negative because the negative was holding my life up, and the negatives were going to hold my children's lives up. Because if I'm still doing them, I'm passing those behaviors to them, and they're going to perform them, and then my grandkids are going to perform those behaviors. And I don't want that. So I said, the buck stops here. So now you know, okay, make the list. If you get lazy, just put the opposite. but go, okay, I got all these things I need to change. If I don't change these things, my kids are going to display these. I better get on it. Kids don't accidentally become drug addicts. They don't accidentally become alcoholics. They don't accidentally get people pregnant. They don't accidentally ditch school. They don't accidentally shoot people or rob people or steal cars or get hooked on meth or LSD. None of those things happen by accident. They just don't fall in with a bad crowd. That's all a lie. It's not an accident. Somewhere along the way, it became an okay signal to go do it. All these teen takeovers, all this other stuff, where's it coming from? Home. That's behaviors being allowed or being condoned to be performed. If we know this, it should frighten you. If you have little kids, oh my gosh, I better clean my act up. I got to get this ready. People ask me all the time, how can I get my kids to be successful? You go first. They're going to replicate what you did. Look at successful families. Trump family. It's an easy win as president right now. I don't care if you like him or not. I'm just going to use him as an example. His kids are successful. Why? Donald never gave them anything. If you see how they were raised, they had to earn everything they got. Like Donald did, like I did. My dad never gave me anything. I had to go get a job. I said, I'd like a car, Dad. Good. All right, there's the want ads. Go get a job. You can make some money. You go buy one. My dad was teaching me responsibility. See, then you look at, let's look at Biden versus Trump. Okay, that's easy because previous presidents. Biden's kids are hooked on drugs. One's dead. The other one's a drug addict, and he's useless. Look at Obama's kids. Not out there greatly performing. Kamala Harris, not setting the world on fire again. Yeah, there are. Look at the Bush kids. They've done okay. One of the Bushes married Ralph Lauren's son. She's got a pretty good life. He's a good guy. So look at the dynamics here. What were they taught? What were they introduced to? What did they perform? What did they see on a daily basis? Was there discipline at home? Was there none? See, if you want your kids to be disciplined, you go first. Are you disciplined? So let's go through the list. Okay, let me ask you these things because your kids are going to reflect who you are. Do you have self-discipline? It's yes or no. Do I have self-discipline, and do I display that self-discipline on a daily basis? Second, where's my self-esteem, self-concept, whatever you want to call it? Because now everybody's self-esteem's wrecked. Well, through self-discipline, you form your self-esteem. I've been doing this a long time. I know that. So if you're self-disciplined, your self-esteem's higher. However, now that the whole society is based on feelings, not facts, where's your self-esteem level? Most people I know have 0. Now, their moms and dad did a very efficient job of destroying their self-esteem, but most people I meet now, adults, I'm not talking about kids, have very little self-esteem. Or you can have the opposite where they have way too much and they need probably some of the air let out of their tire. But it's normally one or the other. I don't meet a lot of people with a healthy self-esteem anymore. Why? When I did when I was a teenager. I'm talking about my high school teachers. I was blessed when I was in high school. I mean, I liked high school. I may have gotten kicked out there for a while. But I have to say most of my teachers were very good people, very competent, very knowledgeable, very mature, self-disciplined. I don't have any horror stories from that. Same thing with college. Mature, disciplined, knew their topics, just expect us to do the work. That was it. Now, not the case. It seems like a lot of adults want to just bleed on the kids. And now the kids are having to be mom, dad, husband, wife. They're paying the cost for all the other stuff that are going on. Kids are bargaining chips. And we wonder why kids have so many problems. On top of, because the parents can't get off their phone because they have no self-discipline, can't get off their computer or technology. That's all the kids do now. Kids are being exposed to things at 6 when they shouldn't see it till 14. Remember, kids mature at the same rate. Kids don't grow up faster. That's a lie. We force them to grow up faster, but kids do not grow up any faster than you did or I did. It's an impossibility. Kids mature at a certain rate. 0 to 2, 3 to 5, 5 to 8, 8 to 13, 13 to 18. Not going to change. Human behavior hasn't changed thousands of years. Now, it may perceive to get worse, but read some history. But just imagine we're trying to download things to kids they are not emotionally ready to handle. Look at all the nudity and sexualization of everything we do now. A child can handle that about 13, 14, 15. That's why we have the talk then. Now they're being exposed to it at 4, 5, 6, 7. They're not ready to handle that. Is that you? What are you exposing your kids to because you don't have any self-discipline? Are you handing electronic devices to your children to babysit them because you don't feel like doing it? Now, as a parent, I've been sick. I've been vomiting, still trying to take care of my kids. I understand. But I never lost sight of one thing. Their success is going to be dependent on what they see me do. I've been a stepdad. I've been a real dad. Now, y'all have heard my story about my son. I did not meet my son until he was 12. Long story. You can go back and watch the other shows. And that was problematic from the start, right? Because I didn't meet him until he was 12. So I wasn't there. Okay, so that did shape him. Now, it's a long story on what happened and everything. But that had an effect. Yes, I have to own up to that. That's left something in him. I had something to do with that. Even though I did not meet him till 12, I've had something to do with that first 12 years because I was not there. And there's a hole there when you're not there. So you have to go through and go, okay, am I self-disciplined? Where's my self-esteem? What am I saying about myself on a daily basis or my kids? What am I reflecting out? What did my mom and dad say about me? Am I doing the same thing to my children? Am I putting the same prejudices that were placed on me on my kids? You're too fat, you're too stupid, you're too lazy. Why don't you do this? Why are you always like this? Why can't you be more like your brother or sister? Why can't you just do what I ask you to do? Does that sound like some of your program? Is that something you're repetitionally doing to your own kids? If it is, stop. It's destroying them. Remember something. You were born perfect, programmed to fail. Born perfect, programmed to fail. Stop repetitionally destroying your kids the way you've destroyed your own life because your parents destroyed yours. Now's the time to stop. Just stop the madness. So now, if you've already ticked these 2 boxes, stop and go, okay, how do I fix this? Because I'm destroying my kids if I don't fix this. Look at the world. We got a lot of destroyed kids here. I live in a town where drug abuse is rampant. Why? Mom and Dad, go look in the mirror. Baby boomers, congratulations. Gen X, congratulations. You're the problem here. If we want good kids, we become good people. If we want kids who serve society, we serve society. If we want disciplined kids, we're disciplined. See, when we talk about things like this, we always reflect to the child, not us. Because people, I always get this question, should I spank my children? No, you need to spank your wife. That's what I always tell them. I was watching a TV show one time, and this couple, two couples were talking, and one couple asked the other couple, do you guys believe in spanking? I forget what the name of the show is. It's absolutely hilarious. And the lady goes, yes, but we have a safe word. And the lady goes, I'm not talking about y'all. I'm talking about your kids. Oh, okay. But it was hilarious the way it was done. Should kids be spanked? All right, let's handle it now because it's got nothing to do with it, but I'm going to handle it. Why do we spank kids? Again, I always go back to what's our end result? What are we trying to achieve by performing this task? Now, remember something. Our job is to prepare our kids for success as adults. From 0 to 18. At 18, they need to go. We got kids around too long. They need to go. Figure out what you're going to do. Let's go. But from 0 to 18, it's my job to prepare them to be successful post me. What's that look like? Self-disciplined, have the right self-esteem for who they are. They understand their gifts and talents and how to make money with their gifts and talents and how to use their gifts and talents to better mankind. They're loving people. They're stern people. They're direct people. They say what they mean and mean what they say. They understand people. They understand hard work. They understand self-discipline. They know who they are in Christ. They know why they were created. They're outperforming that creation. They've married good people who reflect just like they do. They married the right person designed by God. They have the children, and then they teach their children their gifts and talents so they can go perform those for the world. That's our job, is to get them ready for successful adulthood. Now, everything I just named off is our job as parents. See why I say behavior excused or ignored is behavior condoned? Do your kids look like that? Yes or no? See, if we understand the marker where we're taking the kids to the finish line, then it changes our trajectory of parenting and changes the trajectory of how we measure ourselves. Because now your self-esteem and your self-discipline really do matter, because your self-esteem or lack of and self-discipline is going to destroy your kids. Because you're going to turn your kids into a quasi something else that they are not prepared to be. It is true, you can sit in a high school, and if you've met the kids, you've met the parent. If you've met the parent, you've met the child. Something we always said as teachers. It is true, kindergarten teacher can predict the future of every child that walks into his or her class. I know I had the little ones for a while. They're a lot of fun. Many, many years ago. Good grief, that was a long time ago. Almost 40 years ago. So, if this is true, and it does matter, and now, since Scott's told me this is what we need to expect out of our kids, what do I need to do? Because we're watching the world's on fire. Why? Because we never did our job as parents. Why is the United States on fire? We didn't do our job as parents. We did a pretty lousy job. And I got a lot of people who used to sit up in my classroom and tell me, oh, I'm a great parent. Their kid was a drug addict and an alcoholic, and then one of the other ones got pregnant. Yeah, man, you're knocking it out of the park. You're doing a great job. So now that we know what the finish line is for the kids, what's the finish line for you? Now that you're an adult, let's say you're 30. Let's say you got 2 kids. That's the norm I get right now, 30, 35. 2 kids, got a job normally they don't like, took it out of college, whatever it is. Married, divorced. Normally I end up talking to people that have been divorced 1, 2, or 3 times by the time they're 35. Goodness, don't do that. And then again, they wonder why their kids are so screwed up. But what's your finish line? We know what the kids are. I just told you what the kids' finish line is. What's yours? See, when we become parents, a lot of people like to just be all about the children. That way they can not be about them. And they don't have to think. They go on autopilot and just everything they do is about the kids. Kids don't like to be smothered, and they don't want you around all the time. They got their own friends. You don't need to be their friend. Who are you? Why are you here? Why did God make you? What are your talents? What is it you could go pro in? What is it God's telling you to do? What is it you're great at doing? What are your gifts and talents? Where is it you want to be? How much money do you want to make? What do you want to look like? What's your health going to be like? You got to answer all these questions. And if you're divorced, why did you get divorced the first time? Remember, it's a 50-50 a lot of times. There's you and them. Now, it could be 90-10, but still, that 10% is you. The problem is we don't fix the things. We just keep going on and making the same mistakes. And again, we sit and go, well, I was a good parent. I don't know how my kids ended up like that. I've got a lot of boys that come to me, boys under 40. They're boys to me. And they'll say they don't want to get married. They don't believe in marriage. And I'll go, based on what you've seen from the time you were born, I don't really blame you. How many kids, and I used to do this survey in my classroom because I had seniors a lot of times. How many of y'all have seen a successful marriage? Because, man, high school kids sometimes they'll tell you stuff you're not ready to hear. But they can't talk at home. Or I'll hear them, you used to hear them talking to kids, and now people just come up and tell me because they know what I do for a living. And most of them had never seen a happy marriage. Again, I saw 150 kids a day. 150. And out of that, I would probably have per class 2 to 3. It got to where at the end of my career before I left, I was getting, I'd say I was at the 60 to 70% divorce rate by the time I ended my career versus when I first started. Wow. I could probably count on one hand. Now, I was in the teaching profession almost 25 years. I mean, think about it. In 25 years, I went from very few divorces to 60, 70% divorce rate. What changed in 25 years? Us, parents, people. Things that were priorities weren't. We stopped going to church, stopped believing God, stopped believing in us, starting to live free, die hard, let's go get drunk and party, let's do drugs. Baby boomers didn't like the man, wanted to do drugs, wanted to be free. Now the baby boomers are the man. All of it culminated into watching our whole world burn because we didn't want to take responsibility for our own lives or for our kids' lives. And now we have parents wanting to relive their childhood through their kids, or we have women dressing like their kids and wanting to hang out with their girlfriends, like the girls that want to hang out with their girlfriends. I can tell you how many times people came to me to complain about that. I'm like, for one, I'm just your teacher. Two, I don't have anything to do with your parents. I can't do anything about it. As a pastor, I've heard it too. Where did it all go wrong? How did the World War II kids get it wrong? It's like we looked at our parents, we looked at our grandparents, and we went in the opposite direction and decided to not do one thing they taught us. And that's about true. That's how you end up with a school system that's completely failed. On average now, and I got these stats the other day because I used to be a teacher, so I wanted to keep up. On average in the United States, on average, so your school system may be different, the kids are anywhere from 2 to 6 grades below where they're supposed to be performing, on average. You can get that off a governmental website. Got that off Instagram, off a governmental website the other day. So 2 to 6 grades below. Why? No self-discipline, no self-esteem. Parents aren't watching. Kids aren't learning. Right now, they're not teaching the kids anything in school. I used to be a teacher, I know. Whose fault is it? Well, go look in the mirror. Again, the mirror solves a lot of problems. The mirror can tell you so much because normally it's you. So what do I do? Okay, good job, yes. So let's fix it. All right, we're starting with you. We're not even coming to the kids yet. We're going to you. What's wrong with me and how do I fix it? It's like kindergarten cop. Who's your daddy and what does he do? What's wrong with me? Write it down. What's your finish line? What's it going to take? Now I have repetition. All right. So now, let's learn how to rewrite the program of our lives so we're not crappy parents and somebody's having to call us and tell us what our kids are up to today. Or they're not looking over a liquor store or carjacking somebody, or setting somebody's house on fire or firebombing somebody's club. Okay? Now, this is how you do it. What do I want? Not talking about the kids right now. I'm talking about you. What do you want? It's not going to be all about the children during this exercise. It's all about you. What do you want? The government's not going to provide it, so take the government out of the equation. What do you want? See, people can't answer that question. And they search for it their whole lives and then can't figure out why their kids haven't figured it out, and why their grandkids haven't figured it out, or why their parents didn't figure it out. Because we grew up with parents a lot of times that didn't like their jobs, but they made so much money they couldn't stop. We had to eat. We had to pay for bills. My dad worked a job he hated for 30 years and then walked out the door the first time they gave him a chance and then died. He didn't even get to enjoy his retirement. From the stress that he had under there, he died from cancer. Mom died too. So they didn't even get to live out their natural lives, and they weren't very happy while they were here. They were enduring life, hoping somehow, some way, life would change and get better. But it doesn't. We have to change it. It's life is activated, right? You have to activate it with your words, thoughts, and deeds. So now, what do I want? Okay. I know what I want now. It's very clear. I can see it, feel it, and taste it. How do I get there? Right? Do I need schooling? Do I need to move? Do I need a different job? Do I need to make more money? Do I need to just shut up? Do I need to relax? Do I need to pull back? Do I need to join a new social circle? What do I need to do to get to where I want to be? Okay? See, once you write out the plan, you're 50% there. So you've already got what you want, and you got the plan, then you just got to do it. No different than if we go to a trainer and they train us, we're doing what they're asking us to do with the expectation in about 30, 60, 90 days, we see something different. Same thing here. Now, here's how you change your habitual habits that were installed into you when you were a kid. 2 ways. Theta, repetition. Well, Scott, you just said it ended. I did say that. Here's where it picks back up. You achieve theta twice during the day. Right before you go to sleep, right when you wake up. Right before you go to sleep, right when you wake up, you're in theta. You know, you're a little sleepy and you're sitting there. And right before you go to sleep, right when you wake up. So put a card written out with what you want, what needs to be introduced by your bedside. Read it, process it, ruminate on it right before you go to sleep. Every single night. Read it, process, ruminate it. Dream it. Go. Keep going. During the day, dream it. Then at night, read it again. As soon as you wake up, grab it. While you're still in theta, reach over there. You know, how you slap that alarm clock out of the way. Read it again, theta. Read it, process it, ruminate it. Whatever you ruminate it on, repetitiously, times tables, ABCs, becomes automatic. What you want is this automatic to respond. Here's what happens. We're an electromagnetic field. Whatever we feel, we will attract. Whatever we feel and say and do, we will attract. You ever notice how you're in a bad mood, you get more bad? And when you're in a good mood, you get more good? There you go. It's your vibe, man. Baby boomers should understand vibe. So it's ruminate on it, reflect on it, imagine it, receive it. What will happen is your automatic responses will change. See, you can do, and Caroline Leaf's probably one of the best neuro function teachers I've ever seen. You can change 17 habits in a year, or 17 things you don't like about you every 21 days. So you can start breaking a new habit. I always tell people it's no different than weight loss or anything else. If you can, 63 days, you're all good. 120 is better, but 63. Now, a lot of people teach 21, some people teach 63, some people teach 120. It depends on, are you psychology, are you behavior, what school of thought are you coming from? All of them work. So now, you know what you want. You're writing it on your cards, you're taking it to theta. Right, shake your head. Now, I'm also going to do it repetitionally. So I'm vibing, I'm receiving, I'm reorganizing my electromagnetic field to attract. Now, I do a whole course on this. I'm rushing this today because I only have a certain amount of time to talk about the subject in this setting, but I'll probably do a weekend or something on this just to help people. So now I've got what I want in front of me. All day, everywhere I go. Speaking it, saying it, receiving it, ruminating on it, adjusting to it. What will happen is your automatic response will set up and that'll be it. Where it was this, now it's this. Why do I know this? Well, I know. I don't go around punching people anymore. I don't react and scream and holler at people. All those negative behaviors that I displayed, I took care of. They were holding me back in life the way they held my parents back. I didn't want that to hold me back anymore. I had so many bad behaviors that had to just disappear. And I had a great mentor. I had a great mentor to beat this out of me, not physically, but repetitionally with teaching and things. So now that you know you have theta and you have repetition, those are your 2 things that you can use. Whatever you repetitionally focus on, absorb, and ruminate over is what you become. What is it? It's like people's self-esteem. Yeah, you were fat, stupid, slow, whatever it is your parents said. What are you really? Beautiful, intelligent, creative. What'd God say about you? Who are you really? Bright, problem solver, someone people love. You brighten a room when you enter it. What is it about you that's wonderful? When I ask people to write that down, we've all got what they want. They've already started their reprogramming. They've got to figure out what makes them special, what makes them wonderful. But I have so many people that have no idea what makes them special. And I'll go, okay, give me 10 things about you that are just fabulous. I'll go, maybe one. I have to write them out a lot of times. I'll say, okay, let me give you 10 real fast. And I'll just rattle them off. Well, that's not true. Well, no, that's through my observation. It is true. I'm observing you and who you are, so this is what I see. It's my observation of you. Oh, I don't believe that. Well, no, that's true. You don't believe that. But it's what I see. So now we have to get you to see what I see. It's kind of like what God tells us, right? I need to get you to see what I see about you. Because there's nothing more draining than being around somebody with no self-esteem who can't take compliments. You tire of it and move on. And if you take compliments, your kids can't take compliments. So now let's break this down even farther. We've got what we want ahead of us. We've made the decision of all the things we got to do to get that. We've made the list of everything we have to change about us that's holding us back and our kids back, spouse back. Now we just have to put it into practice. Every single day, all day long, 24/7, we have to stay focused. I tell people, the most dangerous time of your day is windshield time. In Atlanta area, you get to spend a lot of windshield time. On average, people are in their cars 5.5 hours a day. Fun times living in a big city. If that's true, what are you doing for those 5.5 hours? Now, I listen to sports talk in Atlanta, but what else are we doing? Self-reflecting, 95, depends on which psychology reports you read, 85 to 95% of every thought that we have about ourselves is negative. Again, it depends on which report you use. It depends on the periodical. If that's true, we're in trouble. What are we repetitiously ruminating on in our car about us that's not positive? Or, that's what I teach people, get a card, put the cards everywhere on your dashboard, on your screen, whatever it is. Ruminate on that. See, you're reshaping who you are. You're changing all your behaviors. You're becoming the person you always dreamed you could be. Well, you got to live that out. You have to live it out as if it's already happening. See, life is ing. It's happening. So everything's happening. And I haven't gotten into all the quantum physics and all the other stuff. It's endless amounts of stuff of that on YouTube. I'd say Bob Proctor was probably the best teacher of that. And I was fortunate enough to have my forwards, all my books were endorsed by Bob. Him and Jack Canfield were probably the groundbreakers that became famous doing it, although Conan and Zig Ziglar and all those guys were pioneers of it. But it's all true. I'm just breaking it down for parenting. I'm not even going into the quantum or all this stuff. That's for another day. It's not this show. But think about it. If you've already figured out where you want, who you are, all the wonderful attributes about yourself, where you're going, and you're successfully clicking those off, guess who's watching? Kids. Your kids are watching you tick the boxes off. On Instagram, I'll look up some of the pinup girls. Not what you think. It's great to see women wanting to revive the styles from 30s, 40s, and 50s. And a lot of these girls have lost 100 to 300 pounds. I actually contacted one wonderful husband. They both lost weight. He didn't like to be in the photos. She looks fabulous. It's a great story. And she's a lovely lady, and her whole family is. And she did this exercise. She decided, I want this. I want my kids here. I want my husband to see me here. Here's who I am. Who's who I want to be. She went out and did it. She changed everything about it. It's like a night still. William, you can change your stars. At any time you choose, you can change your stars of who you are and what's going on in your life with one decision. I'm done with this. I want to do this. Done with this, going to do this. And then back it up with the discipline just to put the steps in place. A lot of people lack the discipline to do the work, because the only place success is before work in the dictionary. That's it. You're going to have to do the work to get the success. And remember, the thing that holds in the balance is your kid's success. Nobody ever has these frank conversations with people. I used to sit in parent conferences and go, it's your fault. It's not mine. It's not theirs. It's not the principal. It's not the sky. It's you. They live with you. You are the main ingredient to this recipe. Stop doing it. Stop messing up your kid's life. Get your life together. Because if the kid's got a dependency, if the kid's going to jail, think about it. You look at some family trees, and every single person in that tree has been in drug rehab or prison. Why? Apple doesn't fall far from the tree. That's why we say these things. They're not just sayings that were made up. They're sayings because there's some proof and data to back up why we say those. All right. I've been banging on you enough, so let's sum that up so I can do at least one question from the mailbag today. All right. So let me go over the formula again. Decide what you want. What's great about you? What's got to get changed about you? Get the steps together. Figure out what you got to do to make it all happen, and then go do it. How's that? Got it? Your kids will thank you. The world will thank you. Your neighbors will thank you. Your pastor will thank you. Your spouse will thank you. All the above will thank you. If you have any questions, you can always email me. I'm at scotferrell.com, and then if you want to do mailbag, it's show@scotferrell.com. Now remember, you can see us on all these social media platforms. Please always like and subscribe. It helps us get up there. If you want me to keep answering questions, we got to keep getting up in popularity. But please go by, watch, like, and subscribe. All right, first question today. Aging in Athens, Georgia, I would assume. Scott, I really enjoy your show. I have a question about aging. I'm in my 60s, and I still have so many things I want to do, but sometimes I get discouraged because I feel like I'm running out of time. What should I do? Whoa, boy, I know that one because I'm in my 60s. Here's the great thing, and this is data that just came out, actually. Your most productive years, now listen to this, everybody knock on wood and listening to this. Your most productive years as a human are from 60 to 70. Your second most productive years are 70 to 80. Your third most productive years are 50 to 60. So first 60 to 70, then 70 to 80, and then 50 to 60. Why? Well, for the first 30, you're just working and learning. For the next 30, you're just working. Or for the next 20 or 30, whichever you want to call it. Then by the time you get to 60, remember, most CEOs are over 60. Most people have lost their fortune and regained it in their 60s. The popes, the average age of popes is 78. Our current president's 80, almost 80. The wisdom, you've gone through the trials, you've gone through everything, you have so much to give. See, by the time we're 60s and 70s, we're departing the information back to, or imparting information to the younger generation. That's why I don't understand why they're firing all the senior citizens. You need to keep them because they're going to be what keeps your company afloat. You're just getting started. If you're in your 60s, you're just getting warmed up. Now, do you know who you are? Do you know why you're here? Do you know what your purpose is? Do you know what you can go do now? Do you know what you can give to the world? Do you know what knowledge you need to pass on to the younger generation? Age and wisdom don't always match up. Hopefully they do. But if you know that this is your most productive time, go produce. So many people start a new career. I remember Marilyn Hickey. She started her ministry at 58. She just recently passed away, 96? 93? I can't remember. Look at that time period of everything. Colonel Sanders. He was 66 by the time he became world famous. Look at all these people that have done all these things later in life. Because now you've got a different set of issues. Kids are gone, things you can focus on. You've got all this wealth of knowledge from all your corporate education, whatever it is. Now you can give it to the world. All right, let me get to one last one and we'll do it. Frustrated in Frisco. I've been working on a project for over 10 years. It's still not come to fruition the way I want it to. There are days when I just want to give up. Do you have any advice? Yes. I had to wait 17 years to get validated on something. 17. Don't give up. It's always too soon to give up. If you hang in there, keep going, keep believing, keep striving, it will happen. I can't say that because I had to wait 17 years for something. I have another project I'm waiting now, so I get all that. Don't give up. It will come. Are you doing the right thing? Are you speaking it? Are you believing it? Are you receiving it? Is your energy gravitating towards it? Are you eligible for the program because you believe it's going to happen? Where are you? What are you saying and believing? It's all about what you say and believe. Don't give up. That's too soon. Satan wants you to give up. Don't do that. God wants you to keep going. So just keep going. Got it? All right. Do me a favor. If this helped you, send us an email. It's show@scotferrell.com. Also, send us a mailbag. I get these sent to me, and then people stop me on the street and go, hey, man, can you answer this question or that question? Yeah, I can, because if you've got this question, how many other people have the same question? Well, a bunch. It's like if one kid in the classroom raises his hand, 20 others wanted to, they just didn't want to do it because they were embarrassed. Don't ever be afraid to ask a question. That's the only way to get an answer. That's what I like about kids. Man, they'll bombard you with questions. But, hey, bring it, man. That's how you learn. So, do me a favor this week, in between the time we see each other. Figure out who you are. Figure out why God put you here. Figure out what your strengths are. What do you do wonderfully? And only ask people that love and adore you. Don't ask people that are jokesters. Really, what's great about me? Just ask people. Unfortunately, I had to do the opposite. I had to go to women and ask them what was wrong with me. And they were more than happy to tell me. But they were right. And boy, was it painful. And boy, I still run into people that want to explain that to me. I look back. If you don't know, I have to go to brain therapy now because I have a TBI. And I don't remember everything I did when I was a kid. And apparently I was horrible. And people still want to tell me that. Now, I don't doubt that they're not correct. It's kind of painful to hear how bad I was. I'm like, did anybody like me? Did I have any friends? But be secure in who you are. If you ask angry women who you really are, you got to be ready for that one. But figure out who you are, where you want to be, what do you want. It's all achievable. You can change. Your kids are a reflection of you, but you can be something great if you want to be. It's up to you. What is it that you want, and what is it you want your kids to know? If you're success, they're success. If you go after it, they'll go after it, because they're going to be proud of you when you do it. Make them proud, but make yourself proud about who you are, what you've accomplished, and where you're going. And man, life is magical when you get there. Trust me, it is absolutely wonderful. And as we wind up, like we always do, make sure the people that you love know you love them. Intentions don't help. Words and actions do. So tell them, write them a card, send them a text, tell them how much that you love them, and do yourself a favor this week. Tell somebody you love how wonderful they are and what their gift is. All right, I'm Scot Ferrell. Thanks so much for stopping by, and I'll see you next time. Take care.